In this video, we will go over the overall construction cost for one of our dental offices and explain what materials we use at our dental clinics. Keep in mind that there are lots and lots of different building materials. It's pretty nuts. I'll do my best to go over a good majority of them, so it should be a good start. Oh, and keep in mind that everything I say is what we use in our dental offices. So let's start by looking at the overall construction cost. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is going to make you cry. Well, at least I do every time I see these types of numbers that I have to pay. The construction total cost will be $669,086. First off, we have general conditions. So pretty much this is going to be the extra stuff that they need to get the job done. One of these would be the dumpsters and the cleaning costs. We have to throw away the trash somehow, right? So they order the dumpsters outside and pay the people to throw away the trash and such. And these dumpsters will be typically right on the parking lot as shown on this example here. However, the biggest cost is going to be supervision. After all, they're not going to do the work for free, right? You wouldn't do a crown for free. Everyone's got to eat and live. Oh, and it looks like they just added the permit fees, supervision, cleaning, and dumpsters here as well. It's all included in the general conditions. Permits are those things that the contractors have to apply for with the city so they can build stuff. They can't just willy-nilly build the dental practice. They have to get permission from the city. Next, we have demolition. So any walls or barriers that are in the way of the overall plan will be broken down and removed. This also costs money. So a pro tip would be trying to incorporate the existing structure in your overall plan as much as possible without compromising the overall dream of your practice. In other words, if you can use the existing walls for your dental practice, do it so you can save lots of money. Here's an example of what a demolition before and after picture looks like. This isn't a dental practice, but it shows you what to expect. They will remove everything that's in the way of your dental practice. In this picture example, they had the walls, door, front desk, ceiling tiles, and everything else you see in the picture. After removing all of that, what remains is the foundation of the building. So sometimes it might actually be better to lease a space that's in shell condition. So what is a shell condition? Let's take a look at how Google defines it. So Google states, in a commercial real estate, shell condition refers to the interior state of a building when a tenant takes it over for lease. It typically means that the exterior of the building is complete, but the interior is unfinished and resembles an empty shell. Shell condition can apply to office, retail, or warehouse spaces. So that is the definition of a shell condition interior building. So what does it look like? Let's take a look at a lease space that is considered shell condition. This right here is an example of shell condition lease space. It has no ceilings, no finished flooring, walls, and everything that you need to have a functioning dental office. That's up to the construction team to get the permits and construct. In the next section of the bid summary, we have concrete cutting or core drilling. Core drilling and concrete saw cutting are two different methods to get the pipes and lines underneath your dental chair. Let's start with saw cutting. If you look at this picture, you'll see the ditches circled in red. These are the examples of saw cutting in our West St. Paul office. Oh, and can you guess what kind of condition this lease space is? That's right, this lease space is in shell condition. There was literally nothing in here. Okay. The next picture we'll see is going to be an example of core drilling. When a core is drilled through the concrete floor, it will look like this. Pretty much they drill a hole through the floor so they can get the pipes under the floor and into your dental office. And by under the floor, I mean someone else's lease space. Construction people will be working in your lower neighbor's business. Your neighbors won't really love you for it, but it is part of business. Anyways, that's the physical difference between the two. But there's also a big price difference as well. In saw cutting, the contractor would have to cut a long path with the saw, remove all the excess, clean it all up, and then pour the concrete back in after the pipes are in. This compared to poking a few holes in the ground. So why would someone do saw cutting instead of core drilling? Well, if you're on the ground floor, then you have no choice. You need to do saw cutting. On the second floor or above, you should definitely do core drilling. In the grand scheme of things, it's not the end of the world in terms of price because there will be more expensive things to come. I'll mention them later in this video. I put rough carpentry and finished carpentry in the same highlighted area because they're pretty much peanut butter and jelly. Google defines rough carpentry as a type of carpentry that involves building the basic structures of a building, such as its foundation, frame, floors, roofs, and walls. And Google also states finished carpentry is a specialized area of carpentry that adds the final aesthetic touches to a building's interior or exterior, such as during construction or remodeling. So pretty much things like baseboards and crown moldings. In fact, let's look at some examples. I stole this off of Google, but it's worth it because we can see the arrows pointing to all the finished carpentry. See the nice looking finishes on the walls? Well, that's pretty much finished carpentry. Next, we're going into cabinets. But before we do, I must first share a secret with you. And that secret is everything in dentistry is expensive. Those who've done dentistry already know this. And to illustrate a point, I have an example. This is a screwdriver. It costs $5 for the average person. Oh wait, did you say you're a dentist? Hold on. Behold, I introduced to you the dental screwdriver. It's so much better than your average screwdriver. Therefore, it is now $50. Yeah, you can see that this happens with everything dental. Dental office chairs, dental furniture, dental supplies, or in our case, dental cabinets. Shown here is dental cabinets at a whopping $37,074. We didn't even put that many cabinets in, so what gives? Can't we just get regular cabinets from Home Depot or Lowe's? Good question, and I've already asked that. And apparently the dental cabinets that you get from a dental office are commercial grade and last much longer. They're supposed to be stronger. I kind of don't buy it, but it is whatever. We were in a pinch and there were supply issues back then. That and the carpenter guy who builds these expensive cabinets need to get paid too, I guess. Behold, our godly cabinets that open and close. Well, actually, they do look kind of cool and sturdy. Good job, construction people. Okay, it's roofing time. Wait, how come roofing is only $2,250? Is it because we have to just fix a small part of the roof? Actually, it's quite the opposite. They have to cut open the roof. Yep, you heard me. We have to cut open the roof to get exhaust ventilation in there. I drew a crappy mechanical room with my mouse. It has an air compressor, vacuum system, and a water boiler. Now, we have a problem with all these machines in here. It's going to get super hot. And when it's super hot, it will kill all your expensive equipment. The life expectancy will diminish. Oh no. The solution? You've got it. Is to cut a hole on the roof and create a vent system. It's going to take all the hot air and force it outside. Your machines will thank you. Look at these smiling guys. In fact, you actually have this system in your home as well. Notice the right side where your oven and bathtub is. The ventilation system takes the heat and sends it outside. Doors, frames, and hardware. This is pretty much doors and the frames and the hardware. Not much to talk about. Well, if I had to say something about this, I'd say the commercial doors that we use are heavy duty. They are of industrial quality and they're not flimsy like your home doors. Commercial doors are a lot stronger than your residential doors. Oh, and the difference between commercial versus residential is that commercial buildings are where we have offices where people conduct business. It could be offices, warehouses, showroom, or anywhere people conduct business. Residential buildings, on the other hand, are living spaces. These are homes, condos, townhomes, and such. Though if it's 5 units or more in a living space, that's considered a commercial building. But let's not talk about that since it delves into real estate. You can Google more if you're curious about it. It was actually worthwhile to know what commercial and residential buildings are for this next section. Now that we know the difference between residential and commercial buildings, know that these two have different building material requirements, at least in the state of Minnesota and probably all in the other states too. The doors have to meet certain requirements. This is another example. The material requirements for commercial buildings require metal studs, which are these long metal looking support things for your building walls. Another example is the bathroom tiles. If you have a commercial business, then the bathrooms will require ceramic tiles up to a certain height along the walls. I will go over these later in the video as well. In fact, we're going to skip all the windows and glass section and go straight into drywall, framing, insulation, and taping, all while it's fresh in our mind. We can do the windows and glasses in a bit. Again, this is not a construction class, so I'm gonna keep it super simple. First, you have to frame the wall. This is where you'll see the metal support thing called metal studs that act as a skeleton for your beautiful walls you will see in the future. Since we're building a dental office, which is in a commercial building, we're going to use these metal studs. Then you put on the board, which we call drywall, on one side of the wall. The drywall is basically a wall that's unfinished. Actually, it's like cardboard on one side and white on the other side. what you're seeing is actually the backside. And then you put soft foamy looking things called insulation. Insulation keeps the warm air inside your room and doesn't let it escape to the outside. You'll need this in the winter time for sure. Actually, it's like the fat layer on a polar bear. Along with the fur, it has the fat layer that keeps it warm. And then you drill the drywall on the other side. The construction crew will make sure it's all secured. By the way, look, it's the other side of the drywall. It's white. After all of this, we have to do additional steps such as mudding, sanding, priming, and painting. But that's later in the video. Actually, screw it. Let's do it now because it's all connected. Here, you can see that the painting and wall covering section is $22,376. It's well worth it. So let's quickly go over the steps of what the construction people are going to do. Again, this is going to be quick and not going into major details. We're dentists after all. Here, this guy is taping, mudding, and sanding. So there will be holes and open spots between the drywalls, and we fill them up here, and then we make them smooth to prepare them for the next step, which will be priming the walls. This guy looks like he's painting the wall, but he's actually applying primer. A primer is something that makes your painting layer better. This is the extent you and I should know. Lastly, we have a finished painted office. The white walls look nice. Congrats on spending $22,000. Yay! Let's talk about tiles now. Ceramic tiles. Ooh. Psych. There's nothing special about these. They just cost $24,951. Have you noticed in your home, which is a residential dwelling, that you don't have ceramic tiles like these? Then you go to Chipotle or Target or anywhere else that runs a business and you see tiles like these in the restroom? Well, it's not done like that to impress you. It's done like that because that's the law. Well, here in Minnesota at least. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the tile section. Just know that in the bathrooms, you'll need to add ceramic tiles. I believe it's there to make the area easily cleanable. In fact, I did some more research on Google and it states that ceramic tiles are useful because they are moisture resistant, fire resistant, won't stain as much, and don't absorb bacteria or moisture, and are easy to clean. So, there you have it. Okay, it's time to talk about windows and glass. I think glass is amazing, and because I think it's amazing, we put glass in every Clear Lake Dental location. Take a look at this. Doesn't this look amazing? So good. Blue is our signature color. In fact, you can see the blue spilling over on the floor. But is there a purpose to adding glass though? Well, yes. So let's look at a traditional drywall, or just a wall. I'm calling it a drywall to differentiate between the glass. But it's pretty much a wall and its width is about 1 feet. So each op will have 6 additional inches of wasted space because a feet has 12 inches. But then there's the other side of the wall. Now you have 2 6 inches on both sides and it reduces the operatory space by 1 feet. That's a lot in an operatory room. Now imagine multiplying that number by 12 ops. Yeah, it gets crazy. That's 12 feet of wasted space. But let's look at the glass scenario. Each glass is 3/4 of an inch. Not only does it look good, but it saves a boatload of space. Your patients and your team members will appreciate the bigger space. But some people might say, but where will you put all the wall-mounted x-ray machine? Fair question. Only if you need one. We use something called a Nomad. It's a handheld x-ray machine. They're completely safe and easy to use. So, do consider adding glass to make your dental office look amazing. You know, when I first started with my first scratch start, I thought having an open ceiling concept would look cool. Pretty much when you walk into any coffee shop, it looks cool. Like this photo here. You can see the pipes and the air ducts shown with a red arrow. It looked cool, so I looked into it. And I'm here to tell you that you shouldn't do it. Why? Next time, try sitting in a coffee shop that has the open ceiling concept. Try listening to the sound that bounces off the ceiling. Now imagine that with your dental practice. All of the screeching dental handpiece sounds accompanied by crying children echoing throughout the clinic. This is going to be a big no-no. So now I know why the dental offices have those ceiling tiles. And they call them acoustic ceilings for a reason. In fact, let's ask Google. Google states that acoustic ceiling tiles have many benefits, including noise reduction, improved speech clarity, energy efficiency, improved comfort, enhanced aesthetics, hidden wires, pipes, and ductwork, versatility, and sustainability. I say the most important one is noise reduction. Google also states noise reduction. Acoustic ceiling tiles can reduce the noise by absorbing the sound waves that would otherwise reverberate around the room. They can also prevent sound from traveling to nearby spaces. Actually, another important benefit is the hidden wires, pipes, and ductwork. In our clinics, we have a lot of wires that travel across the clinic ceiling. Some of these are camera wires, Ethernet wires for the internet, or TV wires. So we want to cover those messy looking things for our clinics. I always thought the open space at the coffee shops looked cool, though it won't work in a dental office. Okay, onwards to carpeting and resilient flooring section. Although this says carpeting and resilient flooring, please do not use carpets. That's just gross. Instead, use LVT. It might cost a little bit more, like a ballpark of $51,240 more, but it's totally worth it. So, funny story. The first 4-chair dental practice that I bought had carpets. It wasn't those house carpet things, but nice industrial ones. And who knows, you might be able to find a nice piece of tooth lodged into the carpet. Joking. But I changed the flooring to LVT right away. And in case you guys are wondering, carpets are not illegal in the dental world, at least in the state of Minnesota. But carpet is discouraged by OSHA, it seems. Let's take a look at Google. It says that carpet is generally discouraged in dental offices because it can be difficult to clean and disinfect, especially after spills of blood and other bodily substances. Carpeting is also more likely to harbor microbial populations such as bacteria and fungi. While not explicitly prohibited by OSHA, also known as Occupational Safety and Health Administration, does require that all areas of a dental office be kept clean, orderly, and sanitary. Yep. So I think you got the point. So no carpets. But I'm going to give you another pro tip. Do not use ceramic flooring unless you want to become poor real fast. So what is ceramic flooring? Let's take a look. This is an example of ceramic flooring. Remember the ceramic flooring that you had to use in the bathroom? Well, you don't have to do it on your clinical floor. Instead, I highly recommend the LVT flooring, which stands for luxury vinyl tile. Let's take a look at an example. You see this flooring? It is LVT. Imagine your dental office looking like this. Looks damn good to me. And I'm going to show you what the main difference is for ceramic versus LVT. Online resource from partierflooring.com website states that ceramic flooring is expensive, messy, and time consuming to install and remove. But I'm telling you right now that this is true, but multiply it by 10x. The reason why I'm very serious about this is because I made the dumb mistake of adding ceramic tiles in my first scratch start, and it costed me about 4 to 5 times what it would have costed me with an LVT. I mean, ceramic tiles looks damn good, but no patient ever came up to me and said, "Dang, your flooring looks amazing." It's only a dream. Don't make my mistake. So yeah, pretty much I would recommend LVT. It's cheaper, looks amazing, and it's inexpensive to install. But ultimately, it's up to you. Don't do it. The next topic is specialties. I honestly don't know what to expect about this specialties section, but I'm going to assume it's just going to be fire extinguishers. So yeah, let's skip to the next one. Toilet accessories are next. When I first thought of toilet accessories, I thought cleaning supplies like Clorox or some kind of nice toilet paper and things like that. Then I saw the price of $4,793. It's either really good toilet paper or something else. Thank goodness it's something else. Let's take a look. If you look here, pretty much everything you see is toilet accessories. That includes the sink, mirror, paper towel holder thing, urinals, toilets, grab bars, the dividers, and the trash can. The flooring is separate though. We are already quoted for that. So there you have it. Off to the next. Okay, this is an important one. Fire protection has 2 main components, a sprinkler system and a fire suppression system. If you look at the bid here, it's $14,786. That's not terrible. The reason for this is because there was already a fully functioning sprinkler system. The contractors probably had to touch up some stuff here and there and perhaps add a few things. All in all, nothing too crazy about fire protection. I lied. So at our West St. Paul clinic, fire protection costed me about $132,000. So let's take a look. This one actually hurts lots. This is one of those things to expect the unexpected. The story behind this one is that this particular city requires all of its people to create a separate pipe just for the fire sprinklers. So back to my beautiful 4th grade drawing skills. Here you see the main road on the left, parking in the middle, and CLD office on the right. So we had to stop the traffic, break the whole parking lot, install a pipe all the way from the main road towards the clinic, fit the pipes into the building for the sprinkler system, and then pay lots of money. Meh, the cost of doing business, I guess. It is what it is. Plumbing. It's one of the two most expensive items that eats all the budget of your dental clinic. So why is it so expensive? Well, that's because there's a lot of pipes that go through your dental office. Wanna see? Let's take a look. Remember this picture? Yeah. First, they had to saw cut the floor and then they had to add pipes in the cut area. They put a whole bunch of pipes for our dental office. There are a lot of pipes throughout the clinic. And it's not just for water, it's also for air and vacuum as well. All of these pipes are placed in and they'll cover it up. And just one more example to show you before they cover the floor up. You can see there's a lot of these pipe things popping up from the ground. This is where the electrical, water, vacuum, and air pipes are for the dental chair. Ta-da! The pipes are still sticking out and the concrete is cleanly covering the pipes. And this green arrow is where the glass walls would go. Next, let's talk about HVAC. Though people in Minnesota say HVAC, but I'm gonna call it HVAC because I'm from the East Coast. Anyways, HVAC stands for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. We have HVAC units in all residential and commercial buildings. I'm going to do a super simple drawing of the system. Remember guys, we're dentists, not HVAC people. So you got a building in black and the blue is the cooling unit and the red is the heating unit. The blue machine makes cold air during the summer and the red machine generates hot air during the winter. Cool. Easy enough. But you also need something called ducts to distribute the air. So we added the air ducts in here. Yay, now I can distribute air more evenly. Since it's summer right now, we have our cool air machine activated and it pushes cold air through the ducts and into our dental office. The green guy is super happy. This is an example of a commercial grade duct system. You can see that there's lots of gray tube looking things. Yep, these are ducts. But yeah, there are a few things to note while talking about HVAC. One, if you can lease a space that already has an HVAC unit plus a network of ducts, then definitely do it. You'll save tons of money. Don't be spending 20 grand like I did. And two, make sure you speak with your architect and your construction people to get enough duct work to have the unit push lots of air into your office space. We wear PPE and during the summer times, you'll wish you spent the extra money on the duct. In fact, I'm going to draw my crappy drawings to prove a point. Back in our second dental clinic in downtown St. Paul, we had very small ducts, terrible ducts. The unit itself was big, but the ducts were so small that the air could not push through fast enough. This would be fine during the fall and spring, but dang, when summer came around, it would turn 79 degrees. Imagine wearing scrubs and on top of that, PPE. Jeez, that's freaking hot, man. So hot that this man turned naked to escape the heat. Psych, this is PG-13. The clothes stay on this person. Anyways, let's move on to the next section. We're almost done, guys. Let's talk about electrical. Yay! This is one of the top two most expensive items. Plumbing was the other one. Anywho, when we talk about electric, we're talking about the obvious things like the lights, but also lots of cable wires for the low voltage sockets. You'd be surprised to see how much wiring a dental office actually needs. For example, let's just take a look at one of our architect plans for this build out. This is the lighting plan for our West St. Paul clinic. Each of the rectangular square boxes are lights. Doesn't it look fun? Psych. It's really boring stuff that you don't have to deal with. But I think it's cool to know that there are a lot of wires that connect to the lights throughout the clinic. The electrical section is really boring and not fun, but it is important. So just let your architect and contractors do what they do. Oh my gosh, finally the last item. It's fire alarm plus miscellaneous. I clumped these two together because they're self-explanatory, not because they're peanut butter and jelly or anything. Anyways, the fire alarm is the fire alarm and miscellaneous states that they do work after hours. Alrighty, the total cost of this particular project was $669,086. This is actually fairly cheap for an 8,000 square foot dental office. Want to know the secrets of saving lots of money during construction? Okay, I'll tell you. The way to save lots of money is to 1. Get TI money. I spoke about this in my previous video. If you get really good TI money, then probably half of your construction costs will be paid for. And 2. Rent out an existing fully furnished area. And that means things are already in there like air conditioning unit, ductwork, flooring, walls, ceiling tiles. And by the way, ceiling tiles are surprisingly a big cost saver, and lights and other fixed items in your rental space. Just these two main tips will save you boatloads of money. But keep in mind that every dental clinic is different. It took me a very long time to figure out what to look for when looking at a lease space and what to avoid during the construction phase. I've certainly made a lot of mistakes and lost about $500,000 through my mistakes. I'll list them out in my next video so you can see how badly I messed up. See ya there!